Sue makes a school science project and presents it. And at one point she says, "People can laugh at me the same way they laughed at John Gurdon. They laughed at him in school too. And then he went ahead and won the Nobel Prize." A girl half the school is laughing at calmly comparing herself to a Nobel laureate. And somehow she doesn't even come off as ridiculous. Who is Sue to most viewers? The naive loser, the one who tries out for everything and never makes anything. The one Axel makes fun of, who keeps getting mistaken for some girl named Barb who gets left off the lists. Audiences got used to laughing along with the family at Sue. But if you dig a little deeper, you start to see that the show almost never actually laughs at her choices. At her hair, sure. At her braces, absolutely. At her cube costume all day long. But her beliefs and the way she acts, almost never. In fact, the writers keep building episodes so that Sue ends up being right at the end. Hey Axel Gang, and this is a new video about Sue Heck, the fan favorite of this channel. I'm gonna walk through the strongest moments where it looked like Sue was making a total mess of things, but ended up being right. A couple of these are gonna genuinely surprise you. Let's start with the contest that feels like it was designed specifically for her. Heck on a hard body, Season 5. A car dealership holds a competition. Whoever keeps their hand on a car the longest takes it home. Just stand there and hold on. That's it. And tell me who in this world is more trained to stand and wait than Sue Heck. She actually spells it out herself, and it might be my favorite speech she gives in the whole show. The gist: who has more practice standing than me? I stand on the side at dances. I stand in gym class while I get picked last. I stand through half of my classes because budget cuts mean there aren't enough desks. You see what she's getting at? Her whole life, all those years of being overlooked and pushed aside, that was training. And now it finally came in handy. Then comes the key part. Her opponent, a yoga instructor, totally calm and confident, tells her to just give up, honey. And Sue fires back. Let me tell you something about me. I never, ever quit. I haven't gotten into 100 different things, but I still keep trying. Didn't make the team, I became the manager. No part in the play, I made the programs. The more I fail, the stronger I get. And she wins. Standing in the sun, covered in burns, stung by bees, she wins. And the yoga instructor gives up saying, "You can't argue with crazy." There's one honest detail here. Fine print in the rules says the prize isn't actually a car, it's a trip to Disney World. Sounds like a scam, right? Except Sue has been saving money in a Disney jar for years. So for her, this isn't a consolation prize, it's her actual dream. The show kind of winks at you. Her wins always look a little different from everyone else's, but they're real. And that leads us to the moment that made me see all the early seasons differently. Risky Business, Season 7. Sue's in college now. Her best friend is Brad. The whole show runs this gag where everyone figured out Brad is gay a long time ago. Everyone except Sue. This goes all the way back to Season 1. The guy she thought of as just her friend while everyone else was exchanging looks. And the audience was laughing too. Come on, Sue. How do you not see it? And then in a car, Brad finally works up the nerve to tell her. He starts to say it, and Sue just cuts him off and says, "I know," 2 words, and hugs him. There's a theory, and at first it sounded wild to me, but now I think it's exactly right, that Sue knew. The whole time. Maybe not in words, maybe not as a solid fact, but she felt it. And she stayed quiet. Not because she was oblivious, but because she was waiting for her friend to be ready to say it himself. Which means the whole 7-season joke about clueless Sue flips completely. She was the most perceptive one there. The show's creators confirmed this directly. They said they intentionally wrote the scene that way quiet. No big dramatic coming out moment. One of them said it would have been braver to just do it simply and quietly. Another said making it a big episode would have felt cheap. So they consciously showed it. Sue understood before he even finished talking. Every scene with Brad across 7 years reads differently now. Hard to switch gears after that, but the next moment is in The Graduate, Season 6, Graduation. And Sue had been calling it the Year of Sue. All season, she believed she'd finally leave some kind of mark on the school. And everything goes sideways. Her one decent photo in the yearbook gets blocked by a flap. Her name comes out as Anna Hajdrajanan, like, not even close. She doesn't get her perfect attendance cords. She's sitting there, according to her mom, in shoes on the wrong feet, no cords, no trace. Mom says in voiceover, "I've never seen her so crushed. Now look at what happens next." The entire graduating class quietly starts passing her yearbook down the rows, and every page is signed. Every single one. Her classmates wrote things like, "You're always racing down the hallway looking so happy. I've never seen you in a bad mood. Your number to fame was fire. I look up to you in a lot of ways. You tried everything. I wish I was that brave." All this time it seemed like Sue was invisible, like nobody noticed her. And it turns out they did, the whole time. They just never said it out loud. Her mom sums it up in one line: "What even is a legacy? It's not a speech at graduation. It's not awards and chords. It's thousands of little moments every day where you touch people without knowing it." And Sue was right from the start. Her kindness wasn't going into a void. Since we're on right in the long run, that leads straight to her biggest story. Sean Donahue. Sue fell for this guy back in season 2. And for years it went nowhere. She had Matt, Darren, Logan, Jeremy, Aiden, a whole string of them. And most people around her didn't really take her thing with Sean seriously. Then, in the very finale, a heck of a ride, it all comes together. Before his flight, Sue secretly puts a snow globe in his bag with a note. At the security checkpoint, they find the globe, and Sean misses his flight at the last second. He finds out the Hex already left and chases them down on the highway. And he tells her she's his soulmate. In the flash forward, her mom says they broke up and got back together a couple times and then got married. Reverend Tim Tom officiated. Small note, so I'm being honest. The show never actually shows us if Sue and Sean have kids, so I'm not going to claim anything there. But the bet itself that somewhere close by there was the right person, and she just had to wait, that was right. 9 seasons later. And in that same finale, Sue delivers a line that kind of explains the whole show's title. The 3 kids are in Axel's car, and she says, talking about being the middle child, the middle is actually the safest place to be. You've got love on both sides of you. Brick adds, 3 is a good number. For 9 seasons, her middleness was framed as a curse stuck between flashy Axel and genius Brick. And in the finale, she flips it into her biggest advantage. And the show agrees it's literally named after her. Moving on to a scene every fan needs to remember. Average Rules, the season 1 finale. Sue barely made the cross-country team only because her mom pushed the school to introduce a no-cut rule, meaning they took her basically out of pity. Then she gets hit by a deer, yes, a deer, and ends up on crutches. The coach, who, by the way, also taught her math the year before and doesn't remember her name, says, "If you want the jersey, run 5 laps. And she does. On crutches, in the rain, past a tractor throwing dust in her face, she literally crawls through the last lap. And the crowd the whole time is chanting the wrong name. Barb, Barb. Then her mom jumps up and yells across the whole stadium, "Her name is Sue. Sue heck. I won't sugarcoat it. She doesn't win the race. She just gets the jersey." But that's the whole point. She was right that her name, her effort, and she herself are not nothing. And now for some uncomfortable truth about growing up. The answer. Season 6. Darren proposes to Sue with this whole citywide scavenger hunt. Sue panics and says, "Sure," and immediately knows it's wrong. Dad's furious, ready to strangle Darren. Parents are running around. And Sue calmly, on her own, breaks off the engagement. She says, "I still have so many things I want to do. I don't want forever to start right now." She's 17. And Darren eventually breaks up with her anyway. He's ready to settle down. In the moment, it looked like just another Sue fail. But everything that followed college, her own major, her own life, eventually the wedding with Sean proved that saying, "No, I'm not ready" at 17 was the most mature decision anyone made in the whole show. Not the parents who were wise, her. One more moment you can't leave out. Year of the Hex, Season 3. The family anonymously gives each other New Year's resolutions. And Sue gets this one. Stop trying out for things you're never going to make. The harshest thing written for her by her dad, by the way. That would have crushed most people. Sue reads it and says, "Fine, I'll make my own club." And she founds the Wrestlerettes, a cheer squad for the wrestling team. Her pitch to the coach. If a cheer squad for wrestling wasn't supposed to exist, then why does pin rhyme with win? And here's the thing. This isn't a one-episode gag that gets forgotten. The wrestlerettes exist all the way to graduation. In season 4, they even challenge the actual cheerleaders to a battle and win, performing their routine to fame. And remember those yearbook messages at graduation? Someone specifically called out that performance. So the insult that was supposed to break her, she turned it into the thing the whole school remembered her for. No bitterness. She just built something. And the very first time she was right goes all the way back to season 1. The trip. Sue has to sell $3,000 worth of sausage and cheese to earn a school trip to Indianapolis. And she does it. She actually sells the whole amount, running around making it happen. Then she shows up at the bus and she's not on the list. The teacher won't let her on. And the kicker? Her mom just forgot to send in the check with her sales. Sue did everything right, and the system cut her out because of someone else's mistake. At first, Sue waves it off, whatever. It's not worth fighting over. That's also something she learned at home. Don't make a fuss, don't go to war over small things. But her mom ends up chasing down the bus and making the teacher sort it out. The trip itself turns out rough. Sue sleeps on the floor in the hotel room because her name isn't on anything. And when they get back, something happens that's never happened before. Sue raises her voice at her mom for the first time. Not a meltdown. Just the first time she actually stands up for herself, and then her mom finds the unsent check behind the visor in the car. The story literally produces the evidence and puts it on the table. Sue was right. She earned that trip. It wasn't her fault. If you pull all of this together, something strange emerges. We got used to thinking of Sue as an optimist who just believes in good things and sometimes gets lucky. But her being right has nothing to do with luck or naivety. It's stubbornness. All the other hecks win with something specific. Dad with calm, Mom with tired love, Axel with shameless charisma. Sue wins with one thing. She just refuses to accept a loss as final. And the show, episode by episode, quietly proves that's exactly what works. Here's what I took from all of this. Sue Heck is not a comedic loser the show laughs at. She's the one person in the family who's almost always right. We just find out about it a few seasons late. If you liked this breakdown, stick around in Axel Gang because there are a lot more moments like this hiding in this show than you'd think.